Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 1/23/2025. Man, I've done that twice now. It's still not good. I need to get a little better prep going on here. We're going to try to get into this one more time. Today is a new day to start again. It is 1/23/2025. I'm going to do it again. Today is a new day to start again. It is 1/23/2025. Still okay. You can just sit on something for an hour and a half until you get it perfect, or you can just move on with it and say sometimes it's just not perfect. So I got a new cat, a companion. Her name is Bodhi. So I went in and I wanted a black cat. It's just, I don't know, for some reason I wanted a black cat with short hair. And so I had them pull up the ones that they had that were that, because they have them all together. They don't know which one's which. And so she's, I also wanted one that was middle-aged because I am a new cat owner, and hopefully I was trying to find one that was mild-mannered. And so when they introduced me to her, they thought her name was Buddha. So that's actually why I picked the name. I'm like, well, Buddha's cool. I'll go with Buddha. But then it turns out they just mispronounced the spelling of Bodhi, which is a really cool, very happy about the Bodhi name. And I looked into it after I had actually decided on it. And so I'm going to look into Bodhi and learn about Bodhi with Bodhi. But she is awesome, very happy. It's one of those where you just feel that you made a good purchase, and not really a purchase. I'm just pulled her from the Humane Society, and really happy about it. And I think that she's going to be fine with dealing with being on her own for the most part, but she is very affectionate too. So I think it's important to remember why you're making the sacrifices that you're making. So she's in a better place than she was there. There was a lot of what's funny, so when I came in, she was sitting on this table. They had these 3 white tables that were pub heights that were round, and she was right in center, like perched up. And I was like immediately like, I think I kind of like that cat, but I didn't think it was her because of the picture. But anyways, so later she got up from there and went down, and there's a nice little cozy little place that's in the middle, and she got in that. But she looked like she was basically the queen of the room. But I didn't think I was getting her when I was looking at the picture of who I thought was Buddha at first, then found out was Bodhi. And it looked like a much younger cat in the face. So I was looking for that, and I thought it was there was like 5 black cats. It was hard to tell which one was which. But it turned out it was her, so it was even hard to get her out. She found a little snug place in there that she just liked to chill at, and pretty much slept all day, I think, whenever she could. And it was her spot. So she didn't cry, but she was just like, I'm not coming out of here. And then, so I waited until I got everything I needed at the house before I went back to get her, and I got her and brought her home. So I kind of wanted to just go from where she was to where I'm at and bring her in the front door. And she walked around the house a little bit, and I just kind of let her do her thing and sat down and set up some stuff for her so she knew that. And she's smart, and it's been really good so far. I think that she's adjusted well. So that's my story of my cat. But I just think it's important to find little things, and I don't know, I probably shouldn't be buying. I mean, I'm in a position to have a cat, so I'm perfectly capable of, this cat will probably do more for me than I do for it. So anyways, no matter how excruciating the pain is. I had this thing, one of my one of the content creators that really resonated with me was during my journey has been Eric DeBay. He actually planted the seed in the beginning because he talked about the Tao. But one of the things he talked about was how things can be so painful and it doesn't weigh with the amount of pleasure that you can gain from life. And I don't know that that's true. I think it just depends on how you define pleasure. Pleasure can be just the love and admiration that comes from being a parent of a proud, or a son or a daughter or a brother, just in situations where I think that that's where, and it can be in large fashions. So like the exhilaration of making a basketball shot that's that's gained from everybody that's involved with it. It's not just you. You have that impactful moment of making a shot that everyone sees. That is, I think, where the pleasure, or the, not necessarily the pleasure, but the payoff. Bodhi is about the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I actually dig it. I think it's, I've been waiting for this fated meeting. There's been some things I've been watching where it's like they hype up this because of the astrological events and things. But I think we're a match. Made in heaven is what I think. I made a nice impact on. Oh, so then I made a nice impact on the guy that in previous videos I talked about. A gentleman I was sitting next to asked me to read and proofread his father's obituary that he was writing, and he wanted someone to take a look at it, and he thought that I looked like someone that would help him, and I did, and gave him encouragement with it, and it helped him. And I got to talk to him again last night, and I feel like I'm just like put in place for this guy. Not that I have that much power, but I think he's shown gratitude for things that I've done for him. So I think that's kind of cool. When you give a bum money, they buy alcohol and they hurt society. That's called a narrative. There's people that go around saying things like that. I think they're called axioms or idioms. They're just basically sayings. You know what they really are? They're spells. And you're tricked into saying them. It's not true. It justifies poor behavior in behalf of. So a sin is another one. All sins are the same. A small lie is the same as a large one. Original sin too is that you're born into original sin. And I have never resonated with any of that. I'm not buying it. One thing I know for sure is my soul is not for sale. My soul is mine, and I give it to the way. That's what I found is the best thing to do. That way I feel content because I've given it to what I think is. So someone asked me, what is the way? Is it different than others? And yes, it's what you're called. It's your calling, and it's always resonating. It's what I think. And you can follow it or you don't have to. It's whether you do or not. And some have higher capacity to others than others. And I think that as your awareness of what your abilities and your abilities to hear the calling or feel the calling or taste the calling or whatever calling, you gain momentum with that, but then you fail. I fail. I fall. I lie. I heal. I carry myself. I gain strength. I serve the way. What is the way? Wu Wee. It's Tao Te Ching. I was going through all of the verses of the Tao Te Ching, but it's not even really in words. Those are just trying to find metaphors for it. And I think it's really resonating because it's so old. That's why I liked it so much, because I'm just like, wow, this really, but maybe it doesn't vibe with everyone. Maybe I'm just like a sage archetype where I was at the time when it resonated with me. But then you just the sound, and then just and there's so many more tones. What I was trying to describe to another gentleman was our letters, these words, they are descriptions of sounds and things that can't even be described. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? I'm the man that will fight for your honor. That was a big one in Karate Kid 2, which I kind of thought was a bust. I felt like it didn't really work. There was some great scenes in it that I enjoyed, but as an overall, I just didn't think it really worked. I think they needed Elizabeth Shue to stay. That's part of the problem. I don't know. That's my opinion of it. It was good. I mean, I liked the whole part of it. Maybe I need to rewatch it and would like it better now. But a big thing is, my honor does not need to be fought for. That's where I'm trying to settle into now, is that, like, I'm standing here with it. I don't need to fight for it. I stand with it. And I think part of the problem is when we fight for others' honors, when we think we are called to, but that's going against, there's just so many different tides and there's so many different pressure changes that conflict with each other because there's so many individuals running around. So maybe it's just that we can't have too many. But I don't need to show you everything that I am, but I can say with certainty I am here to serve. I have felt this, like, I want to follow as long as it's the way. And when it's not, I feel like I want to go the other way until I find it again. But what I do believe is wherever you are, you can find your center, no matter how dark it is or how cold it is. Well, I mean, it can get too cold and it can get too dark. But at that point, then it's just empty. And I don't know. I guess it just stays that way until... That'd be pretty boring, just to be sitting there in empty space forever and just with your imagination. That's what solitary confinement. I don't want to go off the rails here. I had a point, I think, but it didn't feel like it was tying together very well. The whole way thing is struggling for most people, especially when they have this deity and devil, the god devil binary, red blue, really. Red blue is what it always... It's not for me, though. It's for you, is why I'm doing this. Well, no, I'm not. I'm doing this for me. I really enjoyed doing it because I feel like it's glorifying the Tao, is what I feel like I'm doing. I want to show off the Tao in all its glory. And I think it is really important to understand, though, that showing off the glory doesn't mean pride. It's allowing the gold to shine because the sun hits it. The Tao is great. That's really what it comes down to. It's always here. It's always great. You can always get a cat that wants a place that doesn't even know it's ever been to before. And I think we're going to have a good time together. So the Tao is great. Do great. Be great. Be grateful.